So when a body is having both translatory motion and as well as of your rotatory motion, then total energy of the body will be equal to how much, beta? Total energy will be equal to your half into m into your VCM square plus for rotation half into I into your omega square. Okay. Half mv square is associated with the center of mass motion beta, and half I omega square is the with the rotation part of relation. Clear? In this one, if I'm talking about, first one is rolling without slipping. Rolling without slipping. Okay. See, the condition for rolling without slipping is, for no slipping, velocity of wheel at the point of contact should be 0. Okay. Like say when a particle is moving in a circular path like this, okay, and the body is in contact on an horizontal surface. So if I'm taking some points on this one, body is rotating with an angular velocity omega. This is the center O. Velocity of this center of mass is your VCM in the front direction. This is some point A. This is some point of your B. This is some point of your C. This is some point of your D. The body is moving in the front direction with your VCM. Okay, and this one is right now for me what? A pure rolling. A pure rolling. A pure rolling is a combination of actually a translatory motion plus a pure rotatory motion. Okay, in the pure translatory motion, see what is exactly happening. This is your pure translational motion, and this one is your pure rotation. Okay, a pure rotation plus pure translation will be giving you the pure rolling. In the pure translation, what is happening is each and every particle will be having the same velocity of VCM in the front direction. Anywhere you take it, velocity of your VCM is always in the front direction. At point C, at point A, at point B, at point D, anywhere. Okay. Whereas in the pure rotation motion, at the highest position, that means at a point B, the velocity will be equal to your r omega because it is rotating with an angular velocity omega. At the point A, the body is rotating, so it will be your r into omega negative x-axis. At point C, vertically upward direction, r into omega. At point of your D, vertically in the downward direction, we see it. Clear? If you add all this one, we'll be getting the velocity of center of mass. So for this one, at the point of contact, at this position, it will be VCM plus VCM. That will be equal to VCM plus R omega. Now at the point of contact, it will be equal to 0. Now see, in the pure rolling, what is happening is, for no slipping, for no slipping, velocity of wheel at point of contact, should be 0. Clear for everyone? When a body is rolling at this point, but at point A, see this one, in pure rotation, VCM is in the front direction, and in pure rotation, it is VCM in the opposite. Pure translatory, VCM in the front direction. Pure rotation, VCM is equal to R omega in the opposite direction. So the contact will become for me 0. That means at the point of contact, at point A, VCM minus R omega must be equal to 0. So therefore, I can say that VCM will be equal to your R omega. VCM will be equal to R omega. That is a condition for pure rolling. This is the condition for pure rolling. So what is the condition for pure rolling, beta? VCM must be equal to your R omega. VCM must be equal to your R omega. So therefore I can write velocity at point B. That means at highest position. At highest position, what will be the velocity, beta? See, at point B, VCM is R omega, VCM is R omega. That means it will become for me, how much for me? At point B, it is your VCM. And at point B, due to the rotation, is also your VCM. That is equals to R omega. That means velocity at point B will become for me 2 times of VCM or 2 times of your R into omega. Same way. Therefore, velocity at point C. Velocity at your point C. See the point C, beta? Where is the point C? Here. So for this one, velocity is in this direction and point C for the pure rotation is in the upward direction. Both of them are perpendicular, isn't it? So one velocity is in this direction at point C, VCM. Another one is in the upward direction. This is also your VCM. So if I add both of them, so this is your VCM here and this one is also your VCM here. So resultant will be equal to your how much, beta? VC in this direction at point C. So VC will become for me equal to your how much? Under root of your VCM whole square. VCM whole square. Okay. That means VCM plus of your VCM. Isn't it? That will become for me how much? 2 times. Isn't it? VCM whole square plus of your VCM whole square. So that will become for me root 2 times of VCM or it is root 2 times of your R into omega at point C. Isn't it? And at point C, what is the direction, beta? You see? At point C, the resultant direction will be in this direction. And at point D, if I'm taking, say at point D, this is VCM and this one is in the downward direction. So I can write here, therefore, velocity at point D. Velocity at point D. What will be the velocity at point D, beta? Because of the pure rotation, VCM is in the front direction at point D. And due to the rotation, it will be equal to VCM in the downward direction. So resultant will be something like this. This is VCM. This is also VCM. This is the velocity at point D. That is also root 2 times of VCM. That will be equal to root 2 into your R omega. Clear, beta? So for a body which has been rolling, I can say that at the highest point of contact, the velocity should be equal to your how much for me? VCM plus R omega. That means this will become for me how much? VCM is also equal to your how much? R omega plus R omega. That will become for me 2 times of R omega. For a pure rolling, at highest point of contact, the velocity must be equal to 2 times of your R omega. Is that clear, beta? Is that clear? Any doubt in this one? For combined translation and the rotational motion, it is the sum of your kinetic energy plus rotational energy, beta. So K is equals to half m VCM square plus half into I into your omega square. Now if I'm talking about rolling without slipping, so for a pure rolling, VCM must be equal to R omega. For a pure rolling, it is a combination of a pure translation and pure rotational. So for a pure rolling at highest position, it will be equal to 2R omega. And at a point A, it will be equal to your how much for me? 0. Okay. And at a point C, the resultant will be root 2 omega, root 2 times of VCM. And at point D also it is root 2 times of VCM. At point C, what is the direction beta resultant? The resultant direction for this one is in this direction. This is the resultant. Clear, beta? Any doubt in this one? So I can say that for no slipping, no slipping, velocity of the wheel at the point of the contact should be 0. That means at point A, VCM will be equal to how much? R omega. That will be the condition for your pure rolling. Okay. Sure. Next one. Next slide reading. Conditions for rolling without slipping. Condition for rolling without slipping. That means pure rolling. What are the conditions for it? First condition, beta. The point of contact should be taken as the contact of the body with the surface is assumed to be one single point, beta. Okay. And relative velocity at the point of contact must be equal to how much? 0. Relative velocity at the point of contact. At the point of contact is 0. Okay. Number 2. Energy is conserved. Energy is conserved. That means when a body is rolling without slipping on a stationary surface, some of your translation kinetic energy should always be conserved. Clear? That means total energy must be equal to your half into your m into your VCM square plus half into your ICM into your omega square. Now see here, moment of inertia of ICM, I am taking in terms of radius of gyration beta, m into k square, and VCM must be equal to your r into your omega. Okay. K is what beta? Radius of gyration. So if I am writing that value here, total energy must be equal to half. Small m is capital M into your VCM is equals to your r into omega whole square plus half into I is equals to your m into square and VCM is equals to omega kabatti. Omega is equals to how much for me beta? VCM is equals to your r omega. So omega is equals to your V by your r. Okay, or else you can write in terms of anything basically. Depending upon the situation, you can write. So I'll write in terms of VCM only. So it is your omega square. And omega square will become how much for me beta? VCM square divided by your r. Okay. So this will be equal to your VCM divided by r. That means I'll just rub this one here. And here I can write it as VCM divided by r whole square. And here also I'm writing in terms of VCM only. So I'll write here in terms of VCM only. So this will be equal to VCM square. Okay. So what I can do common in this one, but half m and half m will be your common. Even if I take the k square. So what will be the relation beta for that one? Half into your m into your VCM square plus half into your m into your k square into your VCM square divided by your r. Half m VCM square I can take common na beta. Chalo. Total energy will be equal to half into m into your VCM square will be common. It is 1 plus k square divided by r square. That will be the total energy for a pure rolling. Okay. Example. For solid sphere. What is the moment of inertia beta? I is equals to 2 by 5 m into your r square. I is equals to m into k square, that is 2 by 5 into your m into your r square. M and m gets cancelled. So I can write here k square divided by r square will be equal to 2 by 5. Okay. So therefore, total energy will be equal to half into m into your VCM square into 1 plus 2 by 5. 1 plus 2 by 5. Clear beta? 1 plus 2 by 5 is how much beta? 7 by 2. 7 by 5, sorry. 5 2s are 10. That means this will become for me 7 by 10 into your m into your VCM square. Clear? Because this value will become how much beta? 7 by 5. 1 plus 2 by 5. Clear beta? Now, if I'm taking hollow sphere beta, for hollow sphere, what is the moment of inertia? I is equals to 2 by 3 into m into your r square, isn't it? So I will be equal to m into k square, that is equals to 2 by 3 m into your r square. Gets cancelled, so it is k square divided by r square is equals to 2 by 3. Therefore, total energy will be equal to half into m into your VCM square into 1 plus 2 by 3. So that will be equal to half into m into your VCM square into 1 plus 2 by 3 is how much beta? Can anyone tell me? What is the value of your 1 plus 2 by 3? Someone give me the answer in the chat box. Varika, how much is 1 plus 2 by 3? 5 by 3.
Yes, sir.
So 5 by 3 into 2. So this will become how much for me? 5m VCM square divided by 3 to the 6. Okay, chalo, fine, good. Clear, beta? Sure. Let me take some examples. This one is, say, for example, a ball beta. Okay. And this is its radius. Okay. And here there is some ball. From there, it has been coming to the lowest portion somewhere here. And radius of this one is nothing but equal to your r. Okay. So what is that? This is your solid sphere. This one is, say, for example, a solid sphere of mass, how much, say, for example, m. A solid sphere of mass m is released from the rest beta, from the rim of your hemisphere, and it is rolling along the surface. The question is, find the normal contact force between the solid sphere and the cup at the bottommost position. Okay, question is, find normal force between solid sphere solid sphere and cup at bottommost position, at bottommost point. Okay, so it is released here. That means initial velocity will be equal to your 0. Initial velocity will be equal to 0. Okay, now see, when it is being released, beta, there is no change in the energy. That means we can apply, no external forces are been acting on that body property, so we can apply energy conservation at A and B. Okay, that means kinetic energy at your A plus potential energy at your A will be equal to kinetic energy at B plus potential energy at your B. When it is being released, initial kinetic energy is 0 plus when it is released, it is at a certain height from the ground, mg into r. Like say from here, if I am taking, this is at a height of your r. So potential energy will be equal to mg into r. When it comes to the ground, it is rolling about half into m into your v square into 1 plus k square divided by r square. And at lowest position, the potential energy will become 0. As it is a solid sphere, we know it is half into your m into your v square into 1 plus 2 by 5. Just now we did. So that will become for me how much? Half of your mv square. This one is 2 by 5. That means this will become for me 7 by 10. 7 by 10 into m into your v square, that is equals to mg into your r. This m will get cancelled. So from this one I can write and mv square will be equal to how much? Anything is getting cancelled, beta. It is half into m into your v square. So I can write here g into your r will be equal to your v square. Okay. So at the lowest position, if I'm writing the contact forces, let me write the contact forces. Here the weight of the body is acting in the downward direction. That is nothing but equal to your mg. Normal force is acting in the upward direction, en. The velocity of this body is in this direction and angular velocity is omega in the upward direction. Clear? So if I'm writing the normal, that will be equal to your n minus of your mg is equals to your m into v square divided by your r. Okay, so I can write from this one n minus of your mg. V square will be equal to, that will be equal to your m divided by your r into v square. So from here I can write v square is equals to 10 gr divided by 7. So this will be your 10 gr divided by 7 v square value. So this r will get cancelled. So it is n is equals to 10 mg divided by 7 plus of your mg. Isn't it? So it is 10 by 7 plus 1. That means n will be equal to your 10 plus 7 means 17. 17 by 7 times of your mg. This is your normal. So n is equals to 17 divided by 7 times of your mg. Clear? I'll repeat the question. The condition is better here right now. We got a solid sphere of mass m which has been released from the rest. Okay, from the rim of this hemispherical cup that is rolling along this surface. So as it is a rolling means it is a combination of translatory and rotatory. Now the question is find the normal force between the solid sphere and the cup at the bottommost point, right? Clear, beta? Sure. Is it clear for this one? Any doubt in this problem? Clear, beta? Any doubt in this one to anyone? Sure. Let me give you one more example. Like say we got a situation something like this. This is a curved road like this. On this curved road, a hollow sphere. Like say this one is your hollow sphere. Okay, this is hollow sphere moving with a velocity v. and also rotating beta. And also rotating with an angular velocity omega. So halosphere is rolling without slipping on an horizontal surface beta, such that its translational kinetic energy is given as V. Find the maximum height attained by it on the inclined surface. To what maximum height it can go? That is our question. Question is, find the maximum height. Find the maximum height attained by it on an inclined surface. That means to what height it can go, somewhere here, right? That means from the ground, if I'm taking, what is the maximum height to which it can rise? That is the question. Can anyone try beta? Again, law of conservation of energy you can apply. This is your ground beta, isn't it? And this is your inclined plane like this, isn't it? So from here the ball is rolling, not ball, halosphere. So it might be going to somewhat this much of amount of height. That means height raised by this one is, say for example, h. This is a 0.1 and this is your 0.2, isn't it? So here also it is being v. Finally it becomes velocity z, and omega also stop for a fraction of second. Then from there it will try to fall down. That means I can say that if I apply the energy conservation at 0.1 and 0.2, and as it is a pure rolling, the condition is right now for me, it is a pure rolling. So for pure rolling, VCM must be equal to how much for me? R omega. That means kinetic energy at the first position plus potential energy at the first position must be equal to K2 plus of your U2. So K1 is initially how much beta? Half into M into your VCM square plus initial potential energy will become how much for me? How much? As it is rotating, it is half into your ICM into your omega square. Both kinetic energy due to translation plus rotation. Initial potential energy will be equal to 0. That is equals to your mg into your h. Final kinetic energy is also becoming 0. Very good, beta. Isn't it? So this will be equal to your half into m into your v square plus half into moment of inertia for halosphere is 2 by 3 into your mr square into omega will be equal to v square by your r square. That is equals to your mg into your h. Okay, now this two will get cancelled. This r square will get cancelled. So it is your mv square by 2 plus of your m into v square divided by 2 will get cancelled. This will be 3. So 1 by 2 plus 3, that is equals to your mg into your h. That means this is 5 by 6 into your m into v square. That is equals to mg into your h. M and m will get cancelled. So h will be equal to your 5 into v square divided by 6 into g. Very good. So to height which it can rise is h is equals to 5v square divided by 6g. Clear? I'll repeat once again, beta. The question is something like this. We have got an halosphere which is rolling without slipping beta. Okay. The horizontal surface such that its translational velocity is given as of your v. What is the question is? Find the maximum height attained by it on the inclined surface. What maximum height that body can go? That is a basic question. We need to calculate it. So for that one, what I did is I had applied the concept of your law of conservation of mechanical energy. So total initial energy at the first position must be equal to total energy at your highest position. Total energy means what? Kinetic energy of the initial position plus potential energy at that position. Clear? And kinetic energy at the highest position, potential energy at that position. Initially it is rolling and translating, so it is half m VCM square plus half I omega square. Initial potential energy is 0. Final kinetic energy is also 0, and final potential energy is mgh. And you know that moment of inertia for the solid is, for halosphere is I is equals to 2 by 3 m into your r square. That's why I have substituted that. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. VCM is equal to how much for pure rolling? VCM is equals to r omega. So that is the reason omega will be equal to how much? V by r. That is the reason in the place of omega I have written v square by r square. So everywhere mv square will get cancelled. It is mv square by 2 plus mv square by 2 is equals to mgh. M and m will get cancelled. 5 by 6 v square is equals to gh. So h is equals to 5v square divided by your 6g. Clear for everyone? Next one. Rolling on an inclined plane. Rolling on an inclined plane. Okay, this is a body, and from here it is rolling and coming onto the ground. Okay, so when it is rolling, initially it is starting from rest. So initially 0, omega value is also 0. So this is your point A, this is your point B. So now here the velocity will be equal to VCM, and here it will be equal to your omega. And here also this will be equal to your VCM, and this will be equal to your omega. This one is making an angle of your theta. And this is the height from which it is been dropping. Okay. So we got a body of mass of your m beta, and radius of this one is, say for example, capital R. Okay. So it is rolling from the highest position, dropped. Initial velocity has been released, so initial velocity is 0. Angle of inclination is given as theta. So by the time it reaches to the ground, what will be the velocity? Again, same condition, applying law of conservation of mechanical energy at A and B. That means total initial energy is mgh, potential energy. That must be equal to your half into your, what is the moment of inertia? M into your VCM square into 1 plus K square by R square, isn't it? Because at lowest position, potential energy will become 0. This M and this M will get cancelled. So 2G into your H will be equal to your VCM square into 1 plus K square by your R square. So I can write here from this one, VCM square is equals to 2G into your H divided by 1 plus K square divided by R square. That means VCM will be equal to under root of your 2G into your H divided by 1 plus K square divided by your R square. So this is your VCM. So VCM is equals to under root of 2GH divided by 1 plus K square by R square. Now if he's asking the acceleration. So acceleration of the center of mass, if he's asking, see now. Acceleration of center of mass of that body. I can use the kinematic equation below. V square is equals to your U square plus 2 into A into your S. Velocity of this one is VCM square. Initial velocity is 0 plus 2. Acceleration of center of mass is this one. S will be equal to H divided by sine theta. See from the figure. Sine theta will be equal to, this is, say for example, distance traveled S. So sine theta will be equal to how much beta? H by S. So S will be equal to H by your sine theta. So it is your H by sine theta, isn't it? Now we already know the VCM. VCM square is equal to how much for me? 2G into your H divided by 1 plus K square by R square. That will be equal to your 2 times of your ACM into H divided by sine theta. This 2, this 2, this H will get cancelled. So I'll be getting the acceleration of your center of mass. Acceleration of your center of mass will be equal to your G into your sine theta divided by 1 plus K square divided by R square. This will be the acceleration of center of mass. Clear? So we need to remember directly this formula beta. Velocity with which it will be hitting the ground, VCM is equals to under root of 2GH divided by 1 plus K square by R square. And acceleration of the center of mass is G sine theta divided by 1 plus K square by your R square. Now he's asking the time taken by the body to reach the bottom. At that time taken by the body to reach ground. So I can use the relation V is equals to U plus of your AT. V will be equal to VCM. Initial velocity is 0. Acceleration about this one is center of mass into time t. That means t is equals to, I can write VCM divided by your ACM. So VCM is how much, beta? Let me see. VCM is equals to under root of 2gh 1 plus k square by r square. That is under root of your 2gh divided by 1 plus k square by r square divided by acceleration of the center of mass is g into sine theta divided by 1 plus of your k square by r square. So if I simplify this one, this will become for me 1 by your sine theta, isn't it? Under root of your 2h divided by g into under root of your 1 plus k square by r square. So that is your time taken. So you can directly write here t is equals to 1 by your sine theta under root of your 2h divided by g under root of your 1 plus k square by r square. So this is your time taken to reach the ground. T is equals to, if I know the moment of inertia for that particular body, substitute and simplify the answer, we get the answer. Okay, so the k square by r square will depend upon the shape. Clear, beta? Any doubt in this one? Once again, rolling on an inclined plane, beta. When the body is at highest position, beta, the body possesses only the potential energy. There is no rotation and there is no translation. Gravity, initial kinetic energy and initial rotational kinetic energy is 0. So it only possesses the potential energy at the highest position, that is mg into h. When it starts rolling down, it comes to the ground with a certain velocity, isn't it? So the body starts right now rolling and it is coming to the lowest position right now. So when the body rolls and comes into the lowest position, the body will possess both potential energy and as well as of your kinetic energy. Isn't it? So total energy at highest position is mgh and total energy at lowest position is half into m into vcm square into 1 plus k square by r square. Gets cancelled, simplified, you are getting VCM. Once we know the VCM, I can calculate the acceleration by using the relation v square is equals to u square plus 2as. S value you can take it from the triangle, sine theta is h by s. So s is equals to h by sine theta. So simplifying it, you are getting acceleration of the center of mass is g sine theta divided by 1 plus k square by r square. Then if he's asking the time taken by the body, okay, so next one is asking me for me time taken by the body to reach the ground. Then I can use the relation v is equals to u plus at. VCM will be equal to 0 plus of your ACM into t. So time will be equal to how much for me, beta? VCM divided by your ACM. Write the value, substitute, will get the answer for that.
Okay. Okay. Hmm? Yeah.
डन बेटा. But tomorrow I'm not taking class, beta. So tomorrow physics class, maybe for one day I'll be taking a leave because I'm having some infections still. Okay. But anyhow, I'll share you some good assignments. You please try to do the assignments based on the rotation. And from the 31st part, if there is a class, I'll start with the numericals on the rotation mechanics. Okay, beta? Take care. Bye.